Hello and thank you for tuning in to Millennium Movies. So today's video I'm going to be talking about the 5 biggest questions heading into Stranger Things Season 4. Yes, we just finished Season 3, but I'm ready to talk about the potential in Season 4. So the very first question that comes to mind for me is Eleven now is currently without her powers. So this is the most intriguing thing going into Season 4 for me. Eleven seems to be missing her powers. This was something we saw happen to her after she took out the little slug monster out of her leg in episode 8. And she can't even do something as light as a teddy bear off the closet space, as we saw when she was trying to pack it in for her to leave. Mike had to grab it for her and say, hey, your powers are going to come back eventually. But we don't know that 100%. I do think their powers will probably come back, but as it currently stands, she doesn't have her powers. So now this problem makes for a very intriguing direction that they could take her character. How does she and everyone else deal with future threats when she is not at full strength? Now we saw it work out with Joyce turning off the portal and the group distracting the monster with fireworks, but is that going to be an option when and if the Mind Flayer himself finally shows up? I mean, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But again, it makes for interesting character choices, like how does Elle deal with everyday life now if her powers don't come back? And how does she feel about that? How does she deal with it? What effect does that have on her state of mind, and so on? So that's going to be a very fun thing to see for sure. It's very different to the show. We've never seen Eleven without her powers, so I'm very much looking forward to that. The second question is now Eleven has joined the Byers family, and they have all moved out of Hawkins, Indiana. So what are the implications this could have on everyone's friendships and relationships? Well, for one, it means a lot of the character dynamics in season 4 could be vastly different from the past. I think this gives Will and Elle their own time to grow closer now as friends and as a brother and sister now. Jonathan could potentially revert back to being a loner without Nancy there, or depending on if they do another time jump, because again, Jonathan did say, I spent the last 17 years of my life here, so he's 17 years old in the show, but if they do another time skip, then he could potentially be done with high school already, and he could move and he could get a job and perhaps move Nancy out there with him, or he could move back into Hawkins and live with Nancy and get a job there. Who knows? But Will and Elle will be going to a completely different high school than Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and Max. So there's potential for Will and Elle to possibly make a new friend. Even though Will told Mike him joining another party is just not possible, I could see them introducing another teen actor to be Will and Elle's new friend. Steve will be working with Robin at the DVD rental store, so not much change there with them. I think who probably gets the best out of this is Dustin. He'll probably have plenty of time with Mike and Lucas and Max now. I do wonder if they'll do anything crazy there, though, like how they try and live their daily life now without Will and Elle there with them. Perhaps they could be the ones to add a new member to the party, although it's hard to see that happening since, of course, Mike is pretty hesitant with letting new people join their circle. I mean, just remember how he treated Max back in Season 2. But the third question now is, who is the American in the post-credit scene? Now, I touched on this pretty heavily in my Stranger Things in-depth spoiler review that's on my channel. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should go do that. But I'll touch on it a little bit more here. So I think that the leading candidate is Chief Hopper. We didn't see his body. They specifically showed some random Russians getting dusted away, but not him. So it's possible that he could have jumped inside the entrance to the Upside Down, and it's all Russian controlled anyway, so perhaps it served as a portal from Hawkins, Indiana to Russia, and maybe that's how he wound up on the other side of the world. I mean, story-wise, he makes the most sense. Otherwise, I can't see it being anyone else of importance. I mean, Brenner wouldn't make sense. He's in hiding and he's a villain. So why would they be hurting another villain? Callie is way too powerful to be kidnapped. So my money is on Hopper, and his storyline next season will be finding his way back to Joyce and Eleven, all while putting an end to the Russians' evil plans in conjunction. So going off of that, question number 4 now is, what will the Russians conjure up next? So in the post-credit scene, we see that the Russians have a hold of their own Demodog and appear to still be up to no good. So most likely they'll be attempting to use the Upside Down monsters as weapons against the rest of the world. But of course, the Mind Flayer doesn't give a damn about continental warfare. He just wants to kill L and take the world for himself. So I think it'll be somewhat like Season 3, where we have a three-way battle going on between our crew, the Russians, and the Mind Flayer's army. The Russians will probably find, though, that the upside down monsters cannot be controlled by just any old humans. And I think Season 4 could have potentially the most casualties out of any season thus far. I mean, Season 1, we lost like characters like Benny and Barb. Season 2, we only lost Bob. Season 3, we lost poor Alexei and Billy. So the most we've lost in a single season has been 2 characters. So that's not really a high number to top going into Season 4. But speaking of that, my 5th and final major question going into Season 4 is, will Season 4 be the final season? Because in recent interviews, the Duffer Brothers have said that they want to at least do one more season after Season 3 to sort of wrap up everything. They would at least want one more season. But they said they couldn't see themselves going past 4 or 5 seasons. So I think that there is a high probability, unfortunately for us Stranger Things fans, that Season 4 could end up being the final season of Stranger Things. I really do hope not. I hope that this show gets to live to see 5 seasons, but hey, if there's no more story to tell after 4 seasons, and if you don't have anywhere else to take the characters, and if you can't just keep finding reasons to get them, in all this shenanigans with the Upside Down, then hey, it makes sense for the season to end on Season 4 if they don't have any more story to tell. I'm fine with it. This has been a fantastic show, so I wouldn't have any complaints if the show ended on Season 4. But yeah, these are my main questions. I believe probably ending Season 3 now and heading into Season 4. I think we'll probably get answers to all these things in Season 4, but of course it will probably be a while till we get those questions answered for us. But I suspect that we will anyway. Anyways, guys, this has been Millennium Movies, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things and just all things horror. I got a lot of Stranger Things videos coming out in the coming weeks. I mean, just because the Season 3 is over, it doesn't mean we're going to stop talking about it. I got a couple It Chapter 2 videos coming out as well, so you're not going to want to miss that. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, as it does help out my small channel a whole bunch, and I will see you all very soon.